evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the world of V-Gaming Junkie News. You won't find any dross up these metallic sleeves, nothing but pure gaming-related meatiness. It's all about the electronic good stuff as we dive deep in all that's new in the various interactive virtual worlds. As if the current baggage with Sony wasn't bad enough, it seems the PS5 will come shipped with a technical bug. Oh, it's not really anything major, just this tiny little problem of not being able to store PS5 games on an external drive, no biggie. Well, unless your internal storage fills up fast because games are getting fatter and fatter in terms of data size, then it might be a slight problem. Sid Schumann has made it clear that they're working on a solution. They may even have a fix by the time this goes up, but this just goes to show the importance of testing things out before launching your product. Given their many blunders as of late, my confidence in Sony isn't exactly sky high at this point. And speaking of which, there have been claims that Sony has lost interest in Japan. Given the fact that they shifted the core of their company to California and have been forcing Japanese developers to censor their games by the standards of a nitpicky Western audience, it's not hard to see why their perspective is there. It seems Japanese developers face restrictions that their own, such as Naughty Dog, certainly don't have to face, but Sony claims that this claim isn't true. One thing's for sure, Nintendo will likely continue to dominate in the Japanese market, which is no doubt helped by Japan overall emphasizing convenience. And the next-gen problems just keep on rolling as Xbox Series X users are seemingly reporting their systems are randomly shutting off when they try to start a new game. Even a staff member at GameSpot has reported the issue, so it's probably not just a matter of hearsay. Well, at least they aren't finding the system becoming bricked a la the Red Rings of Death, but it's still unfortunate to see the next-gen systems facing such issues around their launch day. Things like that you really want to iron out because first impressions absolutely are everything. Case in point, I referenced the Red Rings of Death even though Microsoft did eventually address the issue and later Xbox 360 models no longer suffered from it. On a lighter note, the developers of What Remains of Edith Finch have released over 3,000 assets freely available on the Unreal Engine. I rather enjoyed What Remains of Edith Finch when I played, and those assets are pretty high quality for something being released absolutely for free. If you're a prospecting game developer or an existing one, give it a look. Anything that makes it easier for prospecting new developers to flex their creativity can only be a good thing, well, except maybe for asset flips, but you gotta take the good with the bad sometimes. So as the Epic vs. Apple case goes forward, the judge looking over at Yvonne Rogers determined that Apple's claims of theft beyond breach of contract will not be acknowledged and will be tossed out. In addition, the judge has granted Epic the right to continue being a developer on Apple, which honestly seemed vindictive anyway and not an actual breach of terms. Naturally, as of right now, Fortnite remains banned since it actually did violate Apple's policies. While it was declared that Epic isn't properly addressing Apple's counter-arguments, at least they will continue to be able to work with developers on iOS when it comes to their Unreal Engine. Much like the US presidential election, I'm mostly just curious to see where it goes at this point. Rounding out with something more lighthearted and comedic, it seems boat people have become a thing in the SpiderMan PS4 game. Essentially, the background NPCs driving the boats are understandably less detailed than significant characters, but this is taken to the extreme. There's so few polygons wrapped around the textured faces that they were accurately compared to GoldenEye 64. Guess the resources must have been stretched literally paper cut out thin by the time it came to adding the boaters. Showing a sense of humor for the PS5 remaster, Insomniac Games added a little sticky note to their clothes asking people if they were missed. It's quite a silly little Easter egg to say the least. As always, it's time to round out this news with some release dates. With the next generation already upon us, this week's scheduling is far less bloated than that was. As a matter of fact, no games are even scheduled for release until the 17th. It starts with Bubble Bobble 4 Friends, The Baron is back for PS4 and Switch, as well as 5 dates for the 4 major platforms. Just to clear up any possible confusion, I mean PS4 and Xbox One. I'll specify if I mean Series X or PS5. This is followed up by Fortnite The Last Laugh bundle for the 3 consoles, Hearthstone Madness at the Dark Moon Fair expansion for PC, and Mars Horizon for the 4 major platforms. This is followed up by Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate for basically everything, and that includes both old and new PlayStation and Xbox, PC, Switch, and even Stadia. Basically, nobody's left out of that one. Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle also comes to Stadia, followed up with Pure Pull and Truck Driver on the Switch. The 19th sees Monster Truck Championship on Switch, as well as Poker Club for the 2 next-gen systems and PC. Also worth noting is that the 19th sees the release of the PS5 for everyone outside of the US, Canada, Australia, or Japan. The 20th sees Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity for Switch, as well as Katamari Damacy Re-Roll for PS4 and Xbox One. Finally, Sakuna of Rise and Ruin releases for Switch and PS4, and the Skylia Prophecy releases just for the Switch. This week's epic freebie until next Thursday is the Texture Assist, a bullet hell typing game hybrid. And as always, that rounds out this news week. I hope you enjoyed and were well enough informed. I've got some interesting long-term ideas for expanding upon things, but I'm not certain how long that'll take, so keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, you may enjoy this new look from my new studio that's far less ugly metal gray. As always, I Let's Play every single day, 10 a.m. and 2 p.m, live stream Mondays and Fridays unless otherwise specified at 4:30 p.m, and these news programs are Saturdays at 6 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. You can always subscribe and powerbomb that bell icon if you don't want to worry about keeping track of these time zones. A like is always appreciated for the algorithms, but I just hope you enjoyed it, and that is it for now. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. Spread this video around like the next generation, and I'll see you next time. Capitalize on life, peace out, have a good one, and engage Warp 9. Make it so, number 1. See you later.